issue of social housing supply. New York is a vibrant center for trade and business and one of three world cities, along with Tokyo and London, that control world finance. Manufacturing, primarily of small but highly diverse types, accounts for a large amount of employment: clothing, apparel, chemicals. The city is a major center of television broadcasting and other facets of mass communication. The neighborhoods of New York City are as diverse as its residents. Throughout the past, New York City has granted hundreds of thousands of new residents, which now has become home for all. This has caused the impact of high population growth. Housing supply has failed to keep up with demand, and this has boosted up housing prices and caused many of the city's neighborhoods less affordable. Comparing Sydney and New York. Sydney and New York relatively share the same issues, even though New York is bigger in terms of the land and population. As the projects were brought down and bought from developers, the social housing residents were relocated from different neighborhoods and given vouchers with hope to try and break up poverty by allowing new opportunity. Households are earning less than 50% of the area median income. A five-borough 10-year plan, taking it into action, with coordination with 13 different agencies, input from well over 200 individual stakeholders, outlines more than 50 initiatives to support the goal of building and preserving more than 200,000 units of high quality, and that could accommodate for over 400,000 residents by 2025. The growth in demand is not enough to supply for more than 1 million New Yorkers. But in 2011, the improvement recovered again and hit nearly 18,000 units in 2013, keeping in mind that this is still a small number that is needed to meet supply. A 2025 teamwork proposal with the state and federal government is guided through the Mayor of New York City, along with the public and private organizations, not-for-profit developers, property owners, and economic institutions, in implementing a mandatory inclusionary social housing program to accommodate for very low-income households to make sure and guarantee the diversity between communities. A plan is mandatory for accomplishment and meeting the supply market. A 2015 financial plan from the New York City Mayor will put forward the Department of Housing Preservation and Development's yearly investment budget in a 5-year plan. New housing opportunities and infrastructure would be available from the Mayor's budget proposal. Effectiveness use of the city's possessions to take advantage of supply, to work with financial institutions and private developers. On the 1st of July 2015, there was an $18 million deficit from the New York City Housing Authority that was needed for repairs. There was a proposal under Section 8 that fell under the social housing requirements for the New York City Housing Authority to sell off 50% of its stake to private developers for quick funds, though in agreement that New York City Housing Authority would continue maintenance and management of the apartments for the next 30 years. One out of the 5 boroughs that is taking place in Brooklyn, East New York, and Cypress Hills. Both the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the New York City Office of Environmental Remediation are helping change locations that are difficult to develop and require cleanup through innovative programs that would help the health of the social housing residents of New York City. The 2025 New York Plan would regenerate living standards with mixed-use development, constructions that have diverse residents that would generate change by the help of housing programs. The effect of Hope 5 caused social stress, dismantled neighborhoods apart, caused displacement and malfunction to the social housing residents. This is the same government plans that are happening in Sydney City that will hit every public housing tenant in Millers Point. Young or old will all be leaving the areas that residents are forced to move to. The fear of displacement and loss of separation from neighbours they have known since birth. Government funding alone for housing plans are too expensive to tackle on their own. Both New York City and Sydney City government could benefit from reform zoning, replace public housing with mixed income developments and other set of laws to lower costs and unlock growth and development opportunities.